welcome back to Top Chat, and today we've got something a little bit different for you, as it's just me speaking into a microphone on my own. Aside from the Top Chat podcasts, we are going to be doing a few little opinion pieces, I guess you could call them, little video essays here. And yeah, today I've got an opinion piece about the state of tennis games in 2019, something that won't interest many of our regular Top Chat podcast listeners. However, tennis games are just the best games. Well, they're not, but we'll get into that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a lot less freeform than the podcast, and I've got a script I'm going to read out and some video in the background. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Give it a like and a thumbs up and all that, and check out Top Chat Podcast. We've just recorded episode 5 today, which is probably out by the time you're hearing this. So yeah, let's get into it. Tennis and video games go back, way back. In fact, they go back as far as video games themselves, with 1958's Tennis for Two one of the earliest examples of a video game, and then 1972's Pong perhaps one of the games that is credited with really kicking off the industry, particularly with its home console version a couple of years later that really brought home consoles into the public conscious. Also, yes, technically Pong is a table tennis simulator, but the basic premise is essentially the same. The essence of a tennis game in theory translates into a video game format. You have two players on opposite sides of the screen trying to get the ball past each other. Simple. Yet we have had a plethora of franchises come and go, yet none have had the staying power of other major sports franchises such as FIFA and Madden. Many developers have missed the mark when it's come to making a tennis franchise, including some massive companies including EA. The endless list of franchises include Virtua Tennis, Grand Slam Tennis, Centre Court Hard Hitters, Smash Court Tennis, Topspin. Even Mario has had several attempts to a mixed reception. A number of games have tried the EA Tiger Woods golf route, with Rafa Nadal Tennis, Pete Sampras Tennis, Jimmy Connors Tennis, but none have stuck around. This isn't to say we haven't had any good tennis games. A few are promising diamonds in the rough, yet none have been able to fully capture the magic of the sport that is enjoyed by millions around the world. Perhaps most universally accepted as the best of the bunch is the Topspin series, in particular the latest, and perhaps last entry Topspin 4, or the PC exclusive Tennis Elbow with its extensive modding community allowing for additional stadia and tournaments outside the base game. In the last few years, the amount of tennis games has significantly dried up after a little swell coming from Virtua Tennis 4, Grand Slam Tennis 2 and Topspin 4 between 2011 and 2012. We had a barren few years, especially on console, with developers citing a lack of sales in order for them to return to the respective franchises. Most would point to the supposed unpopularity of tennis as a sport, particularly compared to football or basketball, yet tennis has a reach of 1 billion people around the globe, making it the 4th most popular sport in the world. So why does this popularity not transfer to sales in the video game space? The fan base is there for a developer to grab hold of, yet it just takes a bit of care and someone could be onto a winner. Two such developers did give it a shot in 2018, 6 years after the last big tennis game was released. Big Ant Studios attempted an Australian Open tie-in with their effort AO International Tennis, a game that was rushed out to coincide with the tournament and was full of bugs and unplayable gameplay. Yet to the credit of the developers, they kept at it, releasing regular updates until eventually the game now has a stable, albeit imperfect, gameplay, atop a handful of licensed players and courts, and a robust player creator and share tool. The game is far below expectations fans were hoping for, so many hoped Breakpoint Studios' Tennis World Tour would provide the experience they were craving, which came with the promise of industry veterans from the Topspin franchise working on the title. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. With a bare-bones career mode and broken gameplay, fans were left disappointed and the developers' lack of communication doing nothing to help their cause. Updates were slow and infrequent, and promises left undelivered. Even the shambolic handling of the Nintendo Switch version wasn't a surprise, with a failed launch that involved delay in the game, yet they'd already shipped the physical copies, resulting in consumers purchasing a completely broken game until an update eventually came out a few months later. Tennis World Tour did have some bright spots though, with an extensive list of ATP players, including including Roger Federer, Stan Wawrinka and Sasha Zverev, yet missed out on Djokovic, Murray and Nadal, with the latter signed up to AO International Tennis. It fell woefully short with its WTA offering, with only 5 players on the roster, accompanying only 2 legends in John McEnroe and Andre Agassi. 2018 also saw the release of Mario Tennis Aces for the Nintendo Switch. Not so much tennis sim, yet possibly the best tennis gameplay of the year involved Bowser hitting baseline winners like they were going out of fashion. So all this leads to the important question: what next for tennis and video games? Would 2 poorly received tennis games be enough to entice EA back into the market, possibly to grab the share that is still available? Or perhaps this will do nothing more than put many developers off, trying to make the one game that will satisfy the hungry tennis fans. In any case, it doesn't appear that we'll be getting a major new tennis franchise soon, with the funding behind it to grab the licenses to Federer, Djokovic, Nadal and Murray, plus all 4 Grand Slam tournaments. The foundations to any tennis game that really wants to be taken seriously. The biggest problem for tennis games is the competition they face from franchises such as FIFA. Not necessarily competition in sales, but competition in value to shareholders. FIFA has the base game with kickoff and career mode, similar to any tennis game, but has one thing that tennis games can't have: Ultimate Team. The popular trend in the video game industry at this current time is monetization. How someone can make a tennis game monetizable perhaps is the biggest question for anyone pitching a tennis game to their publishers. Can you rely on loot boxes in which you find your favourite Roger Federer outfit, or finding a Tony Nadal card to coach you for 10 matches? It doesn't seem as an enticing proposition than receiving a Team of the Year Lionel Messi to sport your in-form Ronaldo up front. So perhaps the answer to the endless tennis game conundrum is as simple as: make a good game. Really pour some love into a sport that many have seen as a money opportunity. Market it at Wimbledon, put Federer and Nadal on the cover, and just let us hit tweeners at the US Open final. At the end of the day, us tennis fans are easy to please. We watch a sport where the ball relentlessly goes from one side of the net to the other, and all we ask is that sometimes, instead of watching, we can have a virtual go ourselves. So there you are, guys. I hope you enjoyed a little rant about tennis games in 2019. As I said, massive tennis game fan, and it's a little bit disappointing what we're being offered compared to other sports at the moment. So yeah, I'd like to see that change. EA, 2K, sort it out a bit, yeah? Anyway, if you enjoyed these kind of opinion pieces, the bit shorter than we offer with Top Chat Games podcast, then just be sure to let us know. I know I'm definitely doing another one because I quite enjoyed writing an essay, which is weird to say considering, you know, I went to uni, hated doing essays, did a lot of them. 2 years later I'm back to doing them, but I guess games are a different thing. So yeah, I think Matt, the other host of the Top Chat Games podcast, is going to be doing some of his own of these opinion pieces, so yeah, let's look forward to that, and his whittering on about Assassin's Creed or something else. I don't know what he does. He sells watches. Maybe that's what we'll be into. Anyway, thank you very much.